Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Hare Krishna Project podcast. This is episode number 150. Yes, we have finally made it to our 150th episode. When we started this year, 2024, we started with episode 101. And I never said anything particularly online, but I was quite keen to get to 150 by the end of 2024. And actually, we've got to this episode with still 6 weeks left in the year, so I'm really happy, and I'm delighted to be bringing to you episode 150 episodes of the Hare Krishna Project podcast. Wherever you are in the world, thank you for tuning in. It's great to have you with us. I do appreciate our very large global audience. I appreciate you tuning in and listening to the story or the stories of our guests each week. Do not forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button so you can be kept updated about future podcasts and video productions from the Hare Krishna Project. And or if you're watching this on Facebook, which is the other way you can watch this podcast, please do like and or follow the Hare Krishna Project Facebook page, so you can be kept updated that way about what we're doing here at the Hare Krishna Project. Okay, episode 150. I was searching high and low all around the world for a guest that would be suitable for the 150th edition. I am absolutely delighted to welcome our guest. It's Srimati Devi Dasi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat everybody.
Dandavat pranams. It's great to have you with us. And I'm looking forward to our conversation this week. You and I have been in communication for about 6 weeks, I think, via email and via WhatsApp. And I'm delighted that you've given in and you've been persuaded to be a guest on the podcast, because a lot of our guests have big stories to tell, and actually coming online and sharing it with the world isn't always an easy decision to make. So I'm really, I feel very honored actually that Srimati is going to be sharing her story this week. So, Srimati, the first question is the question that every guest gets, just to warm them up. Please tell us a little bit about you and where you are from.
Yes, actually, I'm originally from Italy. I took birth there, and I've been taking birth in a wealthy family, but very materialistic. And I've tried to be a very good child without much success, because actually I was not matching at all. And when I became like a teenager, my rebellion came outside. And so anyway, I was, the first time I heard the word vegetarian, I caught it. I said, yes, it's possible to be vegetarian. Wow, I become vegetarian. Because, I was living in a village and it was really quite crazy. So everybody was like, why you become a vegetarian? We are not like horses. Everybody was on me, very, very disturbing, very disturbing. I had to fight much first with my parents, and anyway. And so then growing up, I went by myself. I was living by myself quite soon, as soon as after university. And without anything, I took 3 jobs like this. I started fighting my life, and I was searching much, actually. Searching here and there, everywhere, without satisfaction, until actually I met devotees. Because I used to follow so many trainings, courses, seminars, gurus, this and that, but maximum 2 years, and then I left everything. So, but and also I was also always living actually near 2 temples, one Gaudiya and one ISKCON. in particularly Sri Chaitanya Sarasvat Math and the ISKCON in North, like in the neighborhood of Milan, between Milan and Bergamo. And and I also was brought there more times, but it's quite strange because, usually the temple is a temple. The main door is of the temple. But village Hare Krishna, this is its name, no? There is different. There is like the entrance, and you find yourself in a big park, a green park, very nice park. So you a little bit lose yourself because actually it's a village. So there were many houses originally belonging to the devotees, only devotees at the beginning, that, as you know, and things are changing. And so I got a little bit lost there. I was proposed a house there. I said, oh, yes, and it's a nice environment like this. But then in the years, everything changed, and I went somewhere else like this. And actually, I went there also, but I didn't enter the temple because I was thinking it was private. And I don't know. I mean, maybe at the time there were no devotees around, so I didn't enter. But finally, one day I decided, after searching here and there, not finding, I decided to enter, and I was totally, I would say, caught, totally fascinated, totally charmed, and in a few days I wanted to move there, and we were started chanting mantra, reading Bhagavad Gita, and everything else.
And just out of interest, how old were you when you went into the
No, I was already quite old because it was back to 2011, and so 2011 I was 41. 41 already.
So you're quite a recent convert to the movement.
Let's say.
Wow.
I mean, from 2011, yes. But as I said, I was searching so much, and when I understood that, finally I found somebody able to answer my questions and my taste also, actually, I was like finding myself fitting, like sticking. So, and I saw for the first time the effulgence in devotees. He said, these people are different, as they have something, I saw the effulgence, and so anyway, after searching so much, for me, it was really find finally the place. Everything was like charming me. The deities, Krishna, the food, classes, books, the answers of devotees, and so, but yes, but anyway, after some times, I wanted to move there, but after some times, I decided it was not a good idea. I will tell you maybe later.
So this was in Italy, 13 years ago. So did you ever? So you never moved into the temple? You didn't move into the temple?
Not properly, but I was living near, so I was going there almost every day by car and doing service there. I was very inclined to do service. And I started there.
Where did your spiritual life take you then? Because you're now not in Italy, you're somewhere else. So what happened with your spiritual life after 2011?
Actually, so I first entered because Krishna had some plans with me that not all yet discovered. Actually, even after 13 years, because as I told you, I've been always living between the two temples, Gaudiya and ISKCON, and I've been attending both in the course of the time because when I wanted to move to ISKCON temple there. Actually, I didn't like the management there, the way they're behaving, because I was searching for something like sweeter, let's say, and so I said, okay, now I try to attend the other temple, it's also another Hare Krishna temple. So I went there, and actually, I was connected with these people since I was a child, actually. But for some reason, I didn't go there yet. So anyway, I started attending the other temple, and after a very short time, I said, "Oh, I go to India. It's not possible not to go to India. I want to touch, alive this matter, and I think this is the best place to go. So, and then the first time I said, I went there I came here for 1 month, and with one of the two, there was a couple running the temple. I came here with the lady, and so, and the next time I came here to stay, actually. So it was been like this, because I didn't, so also in the Gaudiya temple, I didn't find myself properly situated, my questions were actually also disturbing them. This was reminding me when I was a child that I've been always making many questions, and teachers didn't like this attitude. And I remember the philosophy teacher told me, you didn't understand yet that they don't like you because you do questions that they don't know what to answer, actually. So also in this temple, I figured out there's something I didn't understand, because I was doing much service, everybody was happy by my service, but they have this strange attitude, and I also, I'm very submissive if I find myself in a warm environment, but if I see something wrong, something not proper, I'm not very submissive, and I say what I have to say. So they didn't like this attitude. Nobody likes this attitude in a managing position. So one point I just say, okay, I can go back to ISKCON, but they treated me like I was affected by a very viral virus. Like, you took, because no, sorry, I jump an important fact that when I came first time here, I took initiation, actually, because I went to Navavi, to the headquarters of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mati, and I met the time Acharya, which was Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj, the follower of Govinda Maharaj. And actually, I didn't want to take initiation by him, but also sannyasi came to my room, convincing me. You say, no, I'm not attracted by this. But I said, Govinda Maharaj for sure it's more attractive to me, But and they told me, you can connect to him, no problem. You can say this and you connect to him. You know how they do, they say, without connection, this and that, without diksha, this and that. So, and also in ISKCON, I didn't find at that time, the situation. So I said, okay, I take it. And, so I've been anyway, stupid or not, anyway, it worked somehow. Krishna arranged everything, because then when I was taking initiation, I told him, actually I want initiation for your guru. And he was like, I'm the channel of Guru. Anyway. And so I got this name, and he was also surprised. He said, I don't know why I'm giving you this name, because this was the most favorite name of my Guru. It's not a general name like it sounds, but actually it's a nickname of Radharani when she's along with Krishna. And so I was very, emotional about this. And anyway, then after a few days, I went back to Italy, and then I started practicing there. And but when I went back to ISKCON, I told you they were treating me like a very dangerous person, to initiation Gaudiya. So I wasn't allowed to do any service, nothing, and I was like worse than the non-initiated ones, you understand? So it's been quite difficult. And then also one point after years they were allowing me to do. I went to serving in the restaurant, this and that. But anyway, the environment I didn't like. They were also threatening me if I used to say something, say if I was posting something that they didn't like on Facebook, isn't that threatening me? So I said, no, this is not my my taste. So I said, it's better I go to India. So I moved to India.
Yeah. So just to summarize, because some of our viewers and listeners won't be familiar with the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat mat. So you were given initiation by Acharya Maharaj, who at the time was the Acharya, appropriate name, Acharya of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat mat. He was the successor to Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Maharaj.
Yes.
And
in
he,
yeah.
Yeah, and so everyone knows the kind of connection. He was the successor to Sridhar Maharaj. So Acharya Maharaj was the initiating Acharya. He's now left his body, and there's now a difference of an opinion over who Acharya is now. So after you received initiation in the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat mat, you went back to ISKCON, so to speak, and you were not allowed to do service. They told you couldn't do service because you've been initiated by another group.
But no, they were not. This is actually what I didn't like of them. They were never straight. Always like it was always something subtle, even though very clear. Because at the end it was very clear. But so much hypocrisy, really, I didn't like. So. I was feeling very uncomfortable. I can tell some episodes, but it sound really, really funny. They were one day, really, one senior devotee was following me even to the bathroom. You understand? Listening what I was doing to the bathroom. I was so ashamed.
This was in India or Italy?
No, in Italy.
God. So let's. So you went back to India after being in Italy, and you've pretty much spent the last decade in India, I think, haven't you?
Yes, I used to go back for about 2-3 months, during the whole season, the first years, and apart from 1 year, which I've been there for about 10 months, trying to sell my apartment, and I got it at the end because I had nobody taking care, and so. I was like, I had to sell it, what I do. And then if I had money, I can survive in India somehow. Otherwise, I have no incomes, nothing. So.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us a little bit now about some of your experiences with ISKCON over the last decade of being in India. What have your experiences been like over the last decade of being involved with ISKCON or around ISKCON devotees in India?
Okay, I mean, my first experience, was not at the beginning because, as I told you, first I went to Navadvip in Sichita Saraswat Mat, and also why then I experienced ISKCON, because also from there I've been kicked outside from the Acharya self for a very heavy situation, because actually I went there to stay there, to settle me down there, and they, after very short time, they gave me the management of the ladies ashram, and so I was clean washing, because mainly what you do. I was alone. Nobody was there for this service, so I was trying to keep it clean. At least it was a quite big building also. And they were like surprised of my effort like this, but this is what for me it was good to do, and I was trying to do my best. But I understood that something was wrong, because the Acharya was like displeased by me. I understood, but actually he was always very respectful with his guru's disciples, but not properly with his ones, like very aggressive and too too tough, let's say, and suspicious also like this. Uh, so I don't know if you want me to talk about this, or I'll jump there to directly to ISKCON.
I really don't mind. I know we've got quite a lot to go through in the podcast. I'm very happy.
Anyway,
I mean, whatever
just
you
a
feel
few,
comfortable
yeah.
talking about.
Okay, because I mean, it has been a quite very impressive experience for me that conditioned all my life from then. Because since then, because yes, very very tough. Because I told you it was he was like I understood it was something wrong there. I was also asking, why he's so angry always, with me, like what I'm doing service, I'm chanting. So and they still just tolerate, like nothing special like this. But at one point, I understood that there was something wrong because some Venezuelan devotees were next to him, serving him intimately, and they were checking me so much. I didn't understand. I said, what's the point? I don't understand. But I was very naive and simple at the time. So I didn't understand. Actually, they were feeling threatened by me. But I was simply cleaning and not doing some translation. I was involved in some translation, helping a sannyasi, but so I didn't understand. I said, okay, what to do? But then after some time, I understood something very heavy. I understood that these people were poisoning Acharya Maharaj. I understood this, and I did the wrong thing to share this with one local serving Acharya Maharaj, just to understand. I said, am I crazy? But I mean, the signs are there. And he was agree with me, but I think he was agree with me just to have some association with me, because at the end, these Venezuelan devotees got to know very soon, my conviction. And I didn't know this for some time. I had not been aware of this for some time. But Acharya Maharaj was more and more aggressive. Like, one day, he pointed me out like this, in the class, Sandhya, let's say, Sandhya, evening class. He was pointing me like this, that you are using me to become famous. What? So, yeah, you wanted a photo of Mataji, who was managing the temple in Calcutta, to post on Facebook. Why you do these things? You are quoting me and this and that. Actually, it was the service given me from a senior devotee saying, nobody's doing this service to quote Acharya Maharaj. You are his disciple. You can do, you start, sharing something. I said, okay, you teach me how to do because I don't know, and you send me an application, this and that. So I was doing, and since one day he was like praising so much this lady managing the temple in Kolkata that I was very impressed because he never used to praise much. Just so I want to glorify this lady. So I was asking the devotee, can I get a photo of this mother? I would like to post there. And so, anyway, all these strange things, all these suspicions and blaming this and that. And after the day after that he did like this to me, I woke up and my son was completely black. Without, so I didn't do anything to my son. I was scared. I became son scared. What's happening here? And I was also harassed by a neighbor, Russian neighbor, lady, very disturbed. Don't read, don't do this. She was disturbed. I was reading Shastra. I like so much this. So you do service because in this math they don't give much important, like much weight to chanting, to chant and to read, but service. But I use also to like chanting, like reading, like this. Anyway, one point, this lady did something very heavy to me. She came threatening me with a divorce also. And I was shocked. I was trying to take a video, and then she kicked my door. A few hours later, she stole my mobile. She wanted to destroy the mobile. It was like, I said, well, am I in a movie or what? So I ran to the management, say what was happening, but nobody was believing me. And so, and Acharya Maharaj that time kicked me outside, really. We had also a meeting, say, you are accusing my devotees to poison me, you are a crazy lady, you go outside. So I left. I was really in tears. I didn't know what to do, I moved there, just taking a student visa for 4 years, and you know how it's not so easy. So I
Uh,
went to Calcutta.
just to say,
Sorry.
Srimati, your audio is cracking up a bit again. Your you've got the headphones plugged into the phone. Is it plugged into the phone? If you
Yes.
That sounds better now. If you just say if
Okay.
it's,
Okay, I take it here.
I think it's is the head are the headphones plugged into your mobile phone? Is
Yes,
it?
the plug is in the mobile.
Yeah, that sounds better. There was a
Okay.
crackling for a bit, but if you maybe try and hold the microphone, but we did hear what you were saying though, so thank you for that. So Acharya
Okay.
Maharaj kind of was always angry at you, and he kind of kicked you out.
Yes, because at the end, I mean, I understood that these Venezuelan devotees were always reporting something in a different way, and he was always angry on me, but without telling me clearly what was the problem. So, because there was no issues actually. The first time he was thinking to have an issue, he told me about this post on Facebook about this quote. But what I did, I was asking a photo of his message, nothing else. And I was quoting him simply. Anyway, so he kicked me outside, and I was also without passport because I was stolen by my passport. And so I went to Calcutta for having a new passport. I had to fight. I got it, and then I went to my. I had a return ticket, because I mean, like 1 year later, something like that. And so I went there. I was asking, can I have the flight in advance like this? And they told me, yes, no problem. It's okay. I think a little bit. So I went outside the agency and then said, but do I want to go back? And I said, no, I don't want. I came here. I was very convinced, and I want to do my best to stay here, but I didn't know what to do. So for a few days, I was wandering in Calcutta in a guest house. Terrible experience. I've been very sick, using a glass, and also Calcutta was already very heavy. Even to find some vegetarian food was good. So at the end, everybody was asking me. I was chanting around the streets, and everybody was telling me, Mayapur, Mayapur. No, 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 Mayapur. But after some time, even somebody else told me, why don't you go to Mayapur? So I said, okay, I got it, Krishna. I want this. So I went to Mayapur, to ISKCON, and I was told that to take part of, like, safely, I had to take a siksha, because diksha I hadn't taken. So take a siksha. So I did it. But this siksha for me was not proper at all. He was bewildering me much because I didn't think to get married, but he was like. Because I was not interested in having children and family life. I said, if I find a partner to do service, to have some company, sometimes single ladies can be alone. So if I find a partner that is interested in only doing service with me, I'm okay. But actually, it's quite impossible. It was quite impossible. So at the end, I've been staying in Mayapur for a few years, and in 2016, I came back to sell my apartment, and I got some money. I'm not a very good money manager, let's say. So I was say, what I do now, what I put, because I didn't have even a bank account in India and this and that. So somebody was proposing me an apartment, because actually, no, this was also my desire to have a place, instead of renting here and there. was also not easy. So I said, okay, they was proposing me a very nice apartment, even though very expensive, extremely expensive, but it was a building next to Ganga and near the temple, in a very peaceful area, and they were like like it seems that it were taking care of me like one of the families. So I was very pleased, because I was, alone is not easy, you understand? So, but I've been very naive, because they took all my money, because they said, if you give money in advance, you pay in advance, you have a big discount. Oh, and he was, there were two partners of this building. One is a Prabhupada disciple, Ajamillas. And so they told me, if you give money in advance, you have a big discount, and we serve you, we take care of you. In a few months, we'll be ready. You are safe, and you can have also a paid service in our office, like this, like that. You are very creative, this and that. I said, okay. So I did, but then I understood in the course of the time that is my audio better?
Yes, it's a lot better now. A lot better.
Okay. So in the course of the time, I understood that they were cheating me, because no much progress in the building, very extremely slowly going on. And I said, I given all my money, I have no place. Why should I keep renting and wasting my time and my money like this? Very small amount left. And so at the end, I said, no, I withdraw. I don't, because after 1 year, they keep telling me excuses, and the attitude was strange, not clear. So I said, I want my money back. Also the project was changing. So I said, no, I want my money back. But he was not agree. Say, no, you have no right to ask your money back now. So he was shocked. And at the time he showed his own face, and so I start fighting, and it took years to get most of my money back. I involved the police. I went there more times, because meanwhile I was in Vrindavan. So anyway, the partner was a little bit more inclined to give me back the money. So through the other one, I got slowly, something in the years. It was finished like only 2000. From 2016, it finished let's say, most of the amount last year, actually 2 years ago. So I think it was 6 years, something like that. And anyway, so I was involved also the management in Mayapur, asking, I wrote also Jayapataka saying this and that. At the time, I was unaware of many things. And they told me, no, why should we help you? You didn't decide it involving us, so why should we help you? Oh, another fact is that, I didn't want to have anything to do with ISKCON management, because, meanwhile, I was seeing something that I didn't like. So I said, I want a place independent, okay? And they told me, no, ISKCON is not involved in this project. But actually, in the time, ISKCON was entering the project because the previous management promised them the access of the road that would have been built there. But the next management, they say, no, you have to pay much money for this. So they say, okay, you can get some apartments there. So this was not good for me, Say, what's this, So anyway, then after that, I got to know many things about the management Mayapur. I got to know about the poison of Srila Prabhupada, what going on with children in Gurukula, many things, and I went deeper and deeper, searching, talking also with devotees all around the world, because I wanted witnesses, and the witnesses were matching, understand, talking with one, talking with another one. So Krishna, this is not like a conspiracy against ISKCON, the present ISKCON is a fact. So I was very shocked and very displeased. I said, I want to take distance from ISKCON. It's a dangerous place. I got to know the worst things about black magic and this and that. all, you have post more videos about these topics,
Yeah.
so
Just
yeah.
Srimati, just out of interest, it's good news to hear that you've got most of your money back. But how much money did you give in advance, if I can ask that?
All the amount of it was a very small apartment, but it was like, oh my God, I'm not very good with money. Um, it was, I think, let me think, I tell you later, okay?
Okay.
But I sold my apartment in Italy, and it was most of the amount there, and so for me it was a huge amount. But everybody was telling me, "Are you crazy to spend such an amount of money?" Because it was supposed to have more technology things there, just to purify the water, not to throw, the drain water in the Ganga, this and that, to have a guard there for safety. You understand? So it was quite. Besides being Vedic project, it was also safe and not poisoning the environment. This
And,
was for
and
me very important.
and the two partners involved in the property company, they were both ISKCON devotees.
Uh, let's say one is a Prabhupada disciple, Ajamil Das, originally from UK. Then he moved and got married in Malaysia, and at that time he was mainly staying in Mayapur. And the other one, Sanjay. Sanjay was local, but he attended Gurukul in ISKCON in Mayapur. But at the time he was kind of like many Gurukuli, just some distance, let's say. He was totally into this project. He wanted to make career, to make money, and to settle himself.
Yeah. And the other thing you mentioned, you're absolutely right. We've done lots of podcasts here about black magic, child abuse, satanic ritual abuse,
Ladies abuse.
abuse of women. It sounds horrific. It's horrific, actually. And
For sure, the most then heavy was about poisoning of Srila Prabhupada. For me, it was totally shock.
And Govinda Prabhu appeared on this podcast a couple of weeks ago. I actually think it was after that one that you might have got in touch with me. So that was one really bad experience, how you were treated in terms of trying to buy a property. What other experiences have you had with ISKCON in India over the years?
Before that, I would like to say that I give for granted, but I think it's good to say that for me, I mean, Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada is my father, my master, my everything. I've been always reading his books, and I feel his presence, and I've been always very, very deeply connected with him, and I like everything from him. His humor, his way to approach people, everything. So I mean, this for me has been always there, always. So you were asking me. I mean, in Mayapur, I mean, this was a small thing, compared to what was going on in Mayapur. Because, now I got to know that also in Mayapur, they stole also more lands from the Gaudiya Mat of the line of Puri Maharaj, Bhakti Vaibhava Puri Maharaj. They stole like more and more, 3 big pieces of land, making boundary, making fake documents. In one, they already built years ago restaurant, the Gada restaurant, something like this, and so everything was like like really low consciousness, and I was totally displeased by this. And then but I said, okay, I leave Mayapur, and I went to Vrindavan, but in Vrindavan I was keeping distance from ISKCON. I was not I was not feeling well to be safe to be involved in so I was attending the temple, but renting apartment near, and going back and forth. But I've been always being worshipping my deities. You know, I have big service anyway, and so parikram and this and that. I was quite busy, but sometimes you feel alone. You know, so it's association. You search for association also, and the environment of the formal temple, let's say, you know. But also in Vrindavan, I had more and more experience, you know, also for even for only for renting rooms, you know, it's quite challenging because the so-called Rajabasi renting rooms, you know, you discover that they are not Rajabasi, they're coming from outside to make some business with the buildings and renting rooms for very high prices most of the time, you know, and as soon as they need the rooms back, they kick you outside. Whenever you ask for something, they are not pleased. You say something that they don't like, whatever, they kick you outside very easily, you know, so it's quite challenging to live like this, you know, for a devotee. And so I experienced of this side of India, you know, and we also should know that actually what does it mean also Vrajabasi, you know, different meanings at different level of consciousness, because Vrajabasi, like residents of Vraj, first of all, you should have been here for 7 generations to be called residents of Vraj. 7 generations, this is written in the scriptures. And second, actually, you know, who is really Vrajabasi? Vrajabasi actually is a devotee, you know, living in Krishna consciousness. This is a real Vrajabasi, making loving service to Krishna. This is residing in Vrindavan, in Vraj. And we have to understand this properly. What does it mean? Anyway, everybody's taking advantage of this, and most people are afraid to face this topic. Everybody is like accepting this as a truth and bowing down to everybody and thinking that, you know, we have only to worship Rajabasi. But again, you know, who is Vrajabasi? We have to understand this. You know, there is much jnana in ISKCON, maybe, but there is not much vijnana because this is not allowed. You know, also another big topic, the change of books, you know, of Prabhupada's books is another big topic, you know, and the changes are mostly about the fact to glorify all the gurus that they became, you understand? So actually, if you read properly Bhagavad Gita, the original one is not like this, because you can get connection or by guru or by vani of a pure pure channel, you know. So even if you read books, you can get connection, you know. So they are just changing this into something else. So and so I lost my point.
You were talking about book changes.
Yes, and before this, I was saying that.
Generations.
Yes, the experience with renting rooms from so-called Vrajabasis. Because actually, you know, you get to know that the real Vrajabasi is humble, is very humble, actually, you know. And like, because he's a devotee, you know, he's a devotee. So it's not that I'm Vrajabasi, you have to serve me, you have to give me money, and like this. It's not like this. This is a business matter. So, and also, you know, I have to tell also something very unpleasant. One of the first year that I was in Vrindavan, I was making parikram, was chanting here around the ISKCON temple in the shortcut road from, like, let's say, the main Bhaktivedanta road to the Chaitanya Vihara. And I saw like a big bunch of condoms on the floor outside the guest house. I was like, you know, my heart was like, what's this? Where am I? What's happening? You know. So, you know, my third eye start opening and understanding what was going on. Actually, you know, there was also prostitution matter in Vrindavan connected to also to devotees. maybe I shouldn't say, but many Russian devotees were doing like this with the all plastic paraphernalia and gopi attitude and this and that. I mean, so, everything was like Krishna was opening my eyes, because I told you I've been always a questioning lady, and I wanted also, I've been always searching for the truth, the real truth, without veils. So Krishna was showing me everything, actually. So, and I said, okay, then, the last time I came here, it was 2000, actually 2019, I arrived here, actually the first week of 2020, and COVID started. As soon as I put my foot on the land, COVID started. Actually, for me, COVID started, So you can imagine, like I was from Italy. As soon as they knew I was from Italy, they go, you go far, stay far, go back to your country, like this, like that. So, am I missing anything about ISKCON? You were asking about ISKCON in Vrindavan. I don't think so.
Kind of some examples of ISKCON and your involvement with ISKCON over the last decade. And you've talked a bit about prostitution in Vrindavan. I wasn't expecting you to say that. You've talked about ISKCON stealing land from Puri Maharaj, and I think that's the Sri Krishna Chaitanya mission. I think it's that, Matt. And you've shared the experiences, the very bad experiences you've had about your money being stolen by a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, who I'm sad to hear that who's British. Just like me, a British man stealing your money in India sounds horrific. Well, any person stealing money, but yeah, I can't believe he's British. I thought the British were better behaved than that. Okay.
Anyway, it was a small experience, no? Compared to what I got to know about this. This was absolutely nothing. And I will tell you also more. We have more topics anyway to share.
Okay.
Anyway, COVID has been a very heavy experience, and it showed me another side, like of India, also of police, foreign police, and this and that. And Indian cells, because I couldn't find a shelter in that place. Everybody was kicking me outside, and guest houses were closed. And how can I afford a guest house? They are asking from 500 to 1,000 rupees per day in a guest house. How you live here? Because the other bad experience of all this life is that, how is possible that just because we are in Kali Yuga, but how is possible that India, what they call it is Bharatavarsha, has no visa for devotees, for pilgrims? How is possible? You have to be a student or tourist. To be a student, you have to have a shelter in a mission. They have to grant for you. Okay, so if you are not inside, it's not possible to have a student visa. You have to subscribe yourself to a school, Sanskrit school, whatever, but paying money and whatever, So it's very difficult. I was always wondering how is possible there's no visa for pilgrims, you understand? Because we come here to spend our money and to just to practice the real Sanatan Dharma. So, but anyway, Kali Yuga is like this. Everybody's taking advantage. Everybody's trying to take, not to give. So this is the reality. And in Kali Yuga, the devotees, at least the sincere ones, are always harassed somehow. And this was my experience, actually, because I can have many limits, but I'm sincerely seeking, and I want to go back, and I'm trying my best, and I'm very determined. So COVID has been like this. At the end, I said, okay, I leave Vrindavan, I go to a village. There was a broker trying to find a broker connected to ISKCON. It was a local. And I said, okay, I bring you in my village. I have an apartment, you can stay there. So, wow, I was thinking, wow, okay, because I was like dreaming of a village lifestyle, with a meaty pot on the head with fresh water and fresh hatha and this and flowers from the garden. This was my dream, you know. So I was thinking like this, but then the reality is quite different because first of all, I had to be like close there like almost 1 year because I couldn't even go outside on the road because, you know, they don't want anybody from outside, even from outside the village, you know. If you didn't take birth in the village, you don't, in COVID time, you couldn't stay anywhere. Anyway, it was really weird, everything weird. So I remember one heavy memory was on the bridge of Vrindavan, see so many people with the backpacks on the shoulders, on the head, coming from the city, from Delhi, coming back to the village. Also because in the village, you know, COVID time was a little bit easier, you know, because in the city you are totally dependent on the government supplies. But in the village, you are quite independent, you know, you have your own food, cows, water, this and that. So it's at the end. So I've been always cheated there because at the end, you know, I was building an apartment on the plot of this broker, you know, and because he was promised me like a marriage life safe, you know, like I'm divorcing and I marry you, I protect you, this and that. So okay, and but the matter is that I understood that he was a alcohol addicted, and so he was doing many strange things, and so, you know, I was feeling mostly alone, and I said, okay, what we do now? So he has tried to give up to be on a good path, but it didn't work. So I said, okay, I go, because, you know, I couldn't stay there alone, because actually the Indian villages, as far as my experience in UP and in West Bengal, actually are criminals villages. Believe me. I mean, I give an example. You know, I told you, I was very naive, very open-hearted. I was welcoming all children of the village to come. They could play I have a small garden so they could play there, and I was trying to preach them, and I was giving them prashada. They're doing my best, you know. Then they were stealing me. You know, I discovered that sometimes they were taking money from my purse and this and that. They stole even my my slippers, you know, so, and they were disturbing so much. And anyway, it was really heavy. Then I understood it. And also, you know, I called the police more times, and but it's all weird here in India, in UP at least, and there's nothing under rules, under bureaucracy, under rules, nothing. Everything is only foreigners should be under rules. But how can you be under rules if nobody is under rule? I give an example. Devotees, foreigners, to provide proof of residence, okay, above all the ones who are staying with a tourist visa. They have to prove where they are staying, because you have to be always, they have to know where you are staying, okay? So this is called a C form, where is written the address, your details like this. But to have C form should be provided by the guest house. But as I told you, the price is unaffordable for somebody living here, okay? So you search for a private apartment from owners like these local owners, but they don't provide documents. 99.99, they don't provide documents. So how you do? They say, okay, you can provide electric bills, but if you keep changing room because they kick you outside, this and that, it's a really big harassment. You understand? It's a big harassment, and the police, they can like harass you very heavily apart from if you give some money. This is the truth. This is the truth. So this was my experience. Then after that, I went back to Vrindavan again. Problems, this and that. Single ladies in India. I don't suggest any single ladies to move to India. Is really is not. It's too difficult. It's too, because also, you know, white skinned ladies are seen like honey for locals, and everybody is cheating. This is the truth. Cheating somehow. They, when they see Western ladies, they think three things. I was told one time, and it's very true: money, sex, visa for Western world. So these three things. So at the end, you know, I went to Radhakunda. I said, okay, we go to Radhakunda. Radhakunda, same experience. Brajabasi, then you discover that mostly are coming from Agra, from Haryana, this and that, but they say we are Brajabasi, okay? Anyway, same problems in Radhakunda with owners, same situation. They take so much advantage. And now the rents are even more expensive than in Vrindavan, in Radhakunda. It's really crazy. And also, you know, it's a challenge to find a quiet place, a quiet place, because, you know, of loudspeakers, this and that. Everybody wants to preach with loudspeakers, you know. Nobody wants to listen. Everybody wants to speak very loudly. So this is the matter. And in all this story, I've been also imprisoned. I have this pleasure to be also in Mathura's prison, because I got an experience in Vrindavan, in the so-called Russian buildings, which has never been my desire to stay in. It was not my taste, but I found myself there. And it has been another heavy experience, because actually the original managers were put in jail because of another story. So everything was left apart during COVID, and even monkeys were almost living there. And it was really a big extreme situation. But somehow, you know, it could be, it was possible to survive there. But I was trying to do something, because I cannot tolerate injustices and people taking advantage of situations like this openly. They were practically taking rooms illegally and making fake documents, you know, and all was dirty, and the place where the garbage was stolen was full of garbage. Nobody was taking care, and all dirty. It was really quite challenging. So I was trying to do something, but then I moved to the other small Russian building, and there was like the hugest experience, because also there they were doing the same, you know. One Indian lady staying there was showing me an apartment, saying, if you want to buy, this is my apartment, I can sell it to you. I say, so I took, since, you know, at that time I had become a little bit clever, I was taking a video of this, and I was asking, so this is your ownership, you know? And they confirmed that it was a couple, you know, two Indians. They confirmed, and so I kept that video, and then I discovered that this lady was there illicitly, without paying the rent, without paying electricity, this and that, and so stealing devotees' apartments, trying to get apartments. But I was again little naive, because I was thinking that she was doing this by herself. But no, then I discovered later, too late, that she was connected to the same and doing the same, the big Russian building, because actually the situation was that there were like 4 or 5 partners mainly four partners in these constructions, and two Russian, the couple, Nistaran and Shamasunda, they have been put in jail by the other two because they wanted to construct two more floors. This is what they told me, okay? Two more floors without sharing them with the other partners. You understand? The other
Can I
partners
just
got angry.
Can you just clarify, when you say Russian building, you mean a building, a block of apartments that's run by ISKCON Russian devotees?
Yes, it's a big building next to ISKCON temple in Vrindavan.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the building, also
So
because it's called Russian building, but from different countries. Mainly Russians are staying there, but also from
yeah,
other
so it
countries
is
on rent.
Russian Hare Krishna devotees in ISKCON are owning these buildings and renting out flats and giving people a bad experience. Yeah.
No, I mean, during COVID time has been weird because of COVID and because also this couple was managing these buildings and they were keeping everything clean and in order. They were making maintenance, also giving prashada, this and that. But when they were put in jail, nobody was doing this, but also the opposite actually, because a fire burst out in the generator on the roof, and it was not by chance. I understand. So they were trying. Actually, they wanted to destroy this building. I think, I don't know. Anyway, there was a very heavy energy, and anyway. Even after COVID, this couple was in jail, and so all criminals activities were running there. So anyway, when I was in the small Russian Bindi, which is more next to Ganga, sorry, to Yamuna, on Yamuna side, and so I understood that this lady was doing so many bad things, So I went to the police, making a complaint. I said, there is a lady doing many bad things in the building. We have no management. Please help, support. And meanwhile, I also opened a chat trying to get the owners and the renting devotees there, this and that, to communicate, because all was a problem. Even to fill the tank was a problem. To pay the government was threatening to cut the light because we are not paying from sometimes. When there's no management, what's happening in a building? So try to guess. And I was trying to do something. There is such a beautiful Krishna there, such a beautiful Krishna there. I said, Krishna, if you want me to do something, I try to do my best. In my way, I try to do, because it's really pity that this is going on here. And so then I discovered that this lady was married with a Russian. The Russian left her, and she wanted to stay there, but she didn't want to pay this and that. So then she got another partner, and this Indian partner was helping her to do all these stupid things. And the police, I went to the police 3 times, to the Kutuhali police station, which is like next to Banki Bihar in Vrindavan. And then I was asking help until, one day they came and they talked with this lady, and then they came up to me and say, no problem, Mataji, no problems. No problems, Prabhuji, problems. No problems, Mataji. Okay, so I think 1 or 2 days later, they came from the same station. Oh, 1 step back. They told me I couldn't do anything because I was not the owner. To make a complaint, there was the need of a owner at least, okay? Because that lady was taking this apartment belonging to a devotee living in Mayapur, illicitly, understand? So this devotee wanted the room back, the apartment back. She was staying there. And I found myself after few days, I was also chatting in the group at that time, and I said, something is wrong, because there is the car of the police outside. Whom are they taking, They were taking me, actually. They knocked on the door. They told me, you are on arrest because Mataji may complain because you raped her child, lady child. Say, what? Sorry, are you joking? I was laughing. This is many movies in my life, but this I've never, guessed to be in. So they say yes, and this was this lady owning that illicitly this apartment, whom I was complaining about in the same police station. Okay, she went there and she said with the daughter, which was declared to be minor, but in India they can create their own identity and details. So actually, she was already that time taller than me. They said she was 17. Let's say, I don't know. And so, and they were reading details of the complaint. I wanted to vomit because very heavy, you understand? All details of my abuse of, and I said, okay, tell me, then I became serious. I said, okay, tell me when this happened. I can tell you where I was, what I was doing. I can give witnesses. No, it happened more times on the roof. More times, so tell me sometimes, you understand, They didn't provide any details. Then I understood that I was in danger. And actually, they provide me a fake advocate who came and told me, don't worry, I take care of you. I take care of you, I take care of you. Okay, so I was a little bit pacified. I moved to this police station, and this advocate disappeared. So I was there by myself. I've been there waiting for hours and hours until late evening, 7 o'clock, and say, what we do now, tomorrow is also my birthday. I said, tomorrow it's my birthday. What's happening here? I came here to make complaints, and now you put me in jail. I came also with witnesses, and with some devotees was coming with me. So at the end, they practically they didn't know what to do. They didn't tell me anything. I was just waiting. They brought me to Kutuhali police station. No, sorry, I said wrong. The first police station was the one next to Banki Bihari temple. Kutuhali actually is the one in the neighborhood of Rangaji temple, so the other side of India. And so they brought me there saying, no, this is like the headpiece. He can handle the situation. And I still waiting there. He was keeping my things, my bag, my passport, this and that. And one point, it was like 9 o'clock in the night. Oh, another detail. I was going voluntary to the police station with my scooty. I have a electric scooty, and I move also to this Kutuali station with my scooty. I say, now I go back to my home. I'm very tired. I want to sleep. I don't understand what's happening. Nobody said, no advocate is nothing yet. I go home. Give me my pass. And so he said, no. He took my passport, no? And he was taking my bag. And I start shouting, say, what's happening here? You cannot keep me. I want to go back. You call my advocates, huh? And they push me in the waiting room where like future prisoners are, let's say, a room, and they throw me on the floor and they start beating me with big, like wooden stick. Two ladies beating me very heavily. I was protecting my head and calling Krishna. And the other ones were outside laughing, the other policemen laughing. And I was totally shocked, really. Devotees shouldn't be scared, but I was terrified. What's happening here? And they were very heavily beating me, very heavily. I was calling Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And so, anyway, I was crying out. And at one point, late in the night, I don't know what time was, they came inside and they told me, now we bring you home. And I had some suspicious, but what to do. So they gave me my bag to pacify me, and say, "Come with us." In the same ladies that were beating me, they came with me in the car next to me, and another driving, and we went on the road in the night. But at one point, I understood the direction was a different one. It was Mathura side. So I start saying, where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Anyway, at the end, Prabhu, I found myself in the ladies department of the prison. Like actually, is before to go to jail. I spent the night there, crying actually, and I was not allowed to make a call, to have my things, nothing. As I've been there. And so the day after, in the morning, the police came and gave me the mobile to make a call. I said, who I'm calling? What can I do? I don't know. So I called the broker that was, where I built my apartment, I told you, no? In the village in Vrindavan. And he came, fortunately, he came, and he said, okay, I gave him my belongings, and I said, I will do, don't worry, I will do. He was shocked, and so I spent like 40 days in jail, and I was really terrified because, I'm from Italy, I grown up in a certain way. I think, how can it be in an Indian jail for a lady? Understand? Anyway, I spent 40 days there, and then I came outside by bail, which has been a big challenge. But and I could go deeper in this, but I know if it's the time now. Anyway, and this is the matter. Then I discovered practically that the police self, the foreign police, the FRRO, put me in jail together with this group involving these Russian buildings, because I was disturbing them in the criminals activities like this. In India, it's like this. I don't know in the other countries if somebody can put somebody else in jail without any evidence. Any evidence. Understand? And now, after 2 years, I'm outside. I didn't get even the chance to be heard, to talk, because this accuser has never shown up even one time. And they keep postponing every about 3 weeks, 1 month, postponing the hearing. Then one time the judge does not come because he has marriage ceremony, another time he's sick, another time he's somewhere else, another time it's raining, another time he's coming late and going earlier. So 2 years like this. And I'm without documents, okay, because they are keeping my passport.
So you're stuck in India without a passport.
Yes, and I was put in jail for my birthday. I say, Krishna, thank you for the gift. But I was thinking that one of the many reasons that because of this, so because a few days before, I was thinking I leave India. I think for some reason Krishna wants me here.
Can I ask you some more broader questions? Thank you for sharing everything that you shared with us. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate your honesty. Just to answer factually, you kind of asked a question about other countries and how they deal with people without having any evidence. I think the situation in the UK is if the police arrest you, they can only keep you for 24 hours. They have 24 hours to gather evidence, and at the end of the 24 hours, the police will decide whether to release you, and you have to come back on a different day, or they can keep you, if they believe you're a danger to the public, they keep you, they have to go to a judge, I think, to get permission to keep you longer than 24 hours. So, and I think that's probably
I was brought in front of the judge, but nobody was explaining me what I do, what I do. Yeah. I was totally unaware, totally not prepared, and was everything weird for me. I was totally shocked. And anyway, I was told that this is one of the few crimes where you have been put in jail like this.
Thank you for sharing all of that with us. I now have some kind of follow-up questions that are much kind of broader in terms of what you've experienced, particularly what you've experienced with ISKCON devotees in India. And my first question is a very broad one. Why do you think the leaders of this organization behave in this way? Because ISKCON and other religious organizations are meant to be about love and care and kindness and compassion. Why do you? This is why I'm laughing. Why do you think the leaders of ISKCON and senior members behave in this way?
No, I was wondering this, so deeply to myself, what to say. This is a delirium. What can I say? It's like the delirium of a position in Kali Yuga, of name, fame, position, power, but it's also the consequence of sickness and of this chain of sickness, because when somebody is like I was thinking this when I also made a comment there that when somebody is abused somehow, he has this trauma inside, and if he's not facing this matter, trying to heal this trauma, this shock, is keeping this inside, and this unsolved matter will have many consequences in the future. Like one of these consequences, like tending to associate with sick people, involved in this sick problem, let's say. So as victim or as aggressor, you find yourself in this situation. So if at one point these people are not stopped to be healed, or any to decide, or themselves decide to heal themselves, there's no chance. It's like a chain, because if you grown up like this, like that famous witness of some ladies devotees saying that they have been grown up like this, you understand, since they were 2-3 years old. How can you stop this? It's a huge matter. So it's a chain, and this plan is going on from 1,000 years. Demons are doing this as a plan, so they have some buddhi to put on the fire, and they know how to do. And the trick is to do this from the childhood, to take devotees totally far from the right path. Actually, I didn't share also the present situation here. I've been also staying also in Mahavan and Gokul, and also a weird situation, because I met a nice devotee from the Gaudiya, not the Sri Chaitanya Math, but from Puri Maharaj, disciple from Puri Maharaj. And meeting in Parikram during Vrajamandala Parikram last year, who told me, I would like to be supported by a sincere devotee. I would like to open a temple to welcome also sincere devotees, in Gokul, in this area, Mahavan. And I said, well, I also need a shelter, so we can try to do something. And he has tried to get a land, but he has been cheated for at least 1 year. And because everything like here is like a cheating matter. They propose you a plot, then you discover that it is belonging to the government. There are no documents. They made fake documents. They ask a huge amount. The real price is 1/10. But going through this, we also went through a very funny situation about ISKCON, because I say, okay, let's try to have a land in Raval, the land where Srimati Radharani was crawling at 2 years old. Very sweet area near Yamuna side also. And So inquiring to the farmers, talking with the farmers there, and they told us this story that, you know, ISKCON got, let's use this word, got a huge land there, taken from more farmers there, in a nice area, and around this temple, you know, the Radharani's temple. And they told this story that actually they got this land in this way, that they told the farmers, we give you something now in advance, you sign the agreement that we will give installments in the future, and to get the ownership. Okay, so you know, farmers maybe are not able to read, or maybe the agreement was in English or whatever. They sign and then discover that on the agreement was written actually something different, that the ISKCON would have never paid anything left, anything more. So they got nothing, and ISKCON got huge land. Not happy in Raval. What they did, they start a case against a small temple which is in construction by Mukundananda Das, Mukundananda Prabhu, and saying that he stole their land. But I mean, the temple is already on construction, okay? On construction work. How can it be that they stole their land first? Second, you know, it's such a small land, you know, what's the point, really? I mean, so legal case is going on from, I think, to remember, 2 years, something like that. So Mukundananda cannot finish the construction, and he's going to want also that piece of land. And this is one experience. Then, not finished, here in Mavan, there is a Damodar temple, you know, where Damodar Lila happened. And one day ISKCON came and said, oh, Haribol, there is a donator who wants to make kunda here at his own expenses. I say, wow, welcome, you know, what you say, welcome. So they came, they did this kunda, and what's happened, that after that the flood came, Yamuna flood came, and all earth filled completely this kunda, but not water, earth, which was very funny to see, you understand? And like leveled, you understand? Totally covered. And I was telling them, you should be careful, you know, because you can lose everything. I say like this, you know. And but you know, I can only give my experience, share my experience. Then everyone is free to decide for themselves, for himself. So they welcome them, and then after some times they said they got, ISKCON got angry because they were not maintaining these sorry, I call them swimming pools, but they are like called kunda, and they said, if you don't maintain this kunda at your costs, we cut the cost of these, and slowly we get on the ownership of this place. So we will get this temple practically. And they said, okay, now we come and we bring devotees for free. You offer prasada for free, and we cut this amount from what you own us. I don't know if it's clear.
Yes.
Is it clear? Okay.
Yeah.
So I was told this story. I was saying, oh my God, what's happening here? Not possible. And then I also discovered that this temple own like 100 biga around the temple. So it's a huge land actually. And Krishna ISKCON knows this. So now they are in this situation. Actually, all the families involved, you know, and one was against this proposal, but the other wanted to agree this proposal. Now they are still in the position that they believe they will get benefit from this, but I'm sure not. I'm sure not. So now they are also providing food, prasada for free to ISKCON devotees, to ISKCON Yatri, to ISKCON devotees, whoever ISKCON is bringing there, and sometimes many devotees, like 200, this, that.
Can I ask just a few more questions before we finish?
Sure.
My first one is around what kind of example does the corruptive nature of ISKCON in India give to the rest of the world? So I mean, there's unfortunately there's corruption everywhere, but when we look at India and we look at ISKCON in India, we see the way that leaders are behaving. What kind of example do you think that sets for the rest of us?
Well, it's clear written that we should be the ones who are purifying this. So when these missions are corrupted like this, there's no way. But still, the prediction are there, and there is no chance for them in long time. So in long terms. So it means that Aras devotee who left these missions and are around running their own projects or trying to survive by themselves, trying to have their own sadhana and bhajan, whatever, by themselves, hopefully, they will join together somehow and be and do the difference, because there's no hope, and for sure the example set by them is the worst. What to say? And now, also here is like they are so greedy. They want to get everything. So what to do? And the government is like, at the beginning, ISKCON was really hampered, because of why you give, you make mlecha, brahmana, this and that. But nowadays, many Indians are involved in ISKCON, and they are also running the mission, actually, So, and also the government is involved and is very interested, because it has become a money machine here in India. Money machine. They get huge donations, huge donations, openly. So I cannot think of hiddenly. You understand? ISKCON is also trying to get these Russian buildings. It's trying to get also a Raval temple. I didn't tell you. Last news is that some devotees from ISKCON went there. They brought a new asana. They said this is a gift from Jayapataka to this temple, and they hang a plate saying, donation by Jayapataka, like this, like that. And from now on, ISKCON will run this temple. Like this. So the example is this, but I mean, actually Indians don't need any example,
I want to finish on a positive. It's always good to be positive. How can
I was already telling, the hope, which is,
yes, I'm very hopeful. I'm an optimistic person too. How can devotees who experience abuse in ISKCON move forward? What kind of advice would you have for them?
dive deep in your projects. We all have skills given by Krishna. We all have some missions somehow. You have to listen to your inner voice, follow your skills, and trying to join if you want to join, or taking inspiration from other projects to do by yourself. But do something. If you want just to do bhajan, you are free to do bhajan. I mean, I've been doing by myself all this time, I'm not interested in big project. Never been interested. I'm so attached to my deities and my service, my books, my readings, and but I met this devotee who wanted to involve me and said, okay, if you want my support, I do my best. Let's see what's happening like this. Everybody should just trying to flow. And Krishna has big plans. So what we can only flow.
Yeah, yeah. And thank you for that. And I wasn't planning to say this during this podcast, but I'm not sure if you know about this, but I'm part of another initiative called the League of Devotees. So the League of Devotees
Liga?
is league, as in league, football league, League of Devotees. So the Hare Krishna project, we're an independent project in the UK. We do, similar to you, we do book distribution, we do Hare Krishna festivals, we visit schools. It's lots of fun. I love it. And there's two other independent temples. There's one in the middle of England called the Hare Krishna Center in Leicester, and there's one in northern France called the Radha Kripa Mission. And we agreed this year to start working together, the three different centers projects, because we're all trying to achieve the same thing, and we're all independent from GBC ISKCON, and it's wonderful. We're having such a great time, and we are so we haven't merged together, but we've just formed like an alliance, a kind of a cooperation agreement, and we call ourselves the League of Devotees, which was a name that Prabhupada used in the 1950s. And in the league, we've got sannyasis, we've got gurus, we've got me. we travel between the temples, supporting each other and giving, and it's wonderful. And we've identified 15 other independent centers around the world that are Prabhupada centers, but not ISKCON in the formal sense. And we're having conversations with them about joining. And it sounds like your project where you are might work well with the League of Devotees in the future. I mean, so there are lots of us.
Sure.
And we all
you can maybe help me, because I have a desire that has never been fulfilled, to like support the project of printing the original Bhagavad Gita in Hindi, because it's not available. I don't know how to do. I have no idea. I know BBT can come and
you know something. Maybe. So here at the Hare Krishna project, you see my finger? We distribute Prabhupada's original books.
Yes, but not in Hindi.
Not in Hindi, but it's really funny. It's not funny. It's really interesting you've just said that, because this is the third time in 3 weeks this idea has been put on my head. We need to print Prabhupada's original books. In Hindi. So I mean, Hindi's another issue. And literally, you're the third person in 3 weeks to put this idea in my head.
No, but let me understand, because you have not this project of printing. No, only the pure Prabhupada they are doing.
I have contacts. Okay. And I mean, I've written a book myself. I've got 2 more books coming out next year when I get around to it. But I know how to get a book printed. It's not difficult. So it's
not a problem for BBT.
I don't worry about the BBT, I don't worry about things like that. I live on the edge. I'm a risk taker.
Oh, don't tell it to me. I'm a prisoner.
When I was a child, I was bullied for being very overweight. And my grandmother, who's now passed away, she said to me, Nathan, don't put up with the bullies. Don't let them bully you. And ever since then, I don't tolerate bullies. I will not be bullied. I will not be pushed around. People can have an opinion about me, and that's fine. They're allowed to. But I will not be silenced, and I will not be pushed around. So offline, when we're not recording, we will have a conversation about printing books. Because I just live on the edge. Whatever Krishna wants, Krishna gets. And I worry about it later. Sure. I do something and I apologize.
I know that I have something to do with books. I got more science about this. Science. I mean, I give an example. one day, I mean, even before becoming a devotee, you know, like it's, let's say an artist, a lady artist, draw my made a portrait of my face, only face, I think, yes, and she made a big book in my head, like this, coming from here, entering the head, in the middle of my head, a big book. So what's this? I don't know. I see you like a wise lady, and it came to me, you know, like I say, okay, thank you. So, and also I used to write everything since I was in the school. To learn something, to read something, I always write something. I write. I copy, you know, here, this is funny. I copy the old Srimad Bhagavatam. Can you
Wow.
believe this?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Anyway, something
Well,
is there.
what I'm going to do, Srimati, is just say goodbye to the viewers at home. I'm just gonna stop the recording, but you stay on the line, stay in the Zoom room, and we can carry on chatting privately about how
Okay.
we're going to change the world. But I'll think there's so much to do. I wish there was more hours in the day. But I'll say goodbye and stop the recording, and we can chat after. But it's been fantastic to have Srimati as our 150th guest on the Hare Krishna Project podcast. I knew that she had a story to tell. I just didn't know all the details. But we've talked about prostitution in Vrindavan. We've talked about theft. We've talked about falsely being accused of things and being sent to prison. We've been talked about inappropriate kind of financial dealings. We've talked about land grabs, and all of this is in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. You just cannot make it
And
up.
much more.
And much more. And we've done podcasts on all the much more: the black magic, the satanic ritual abuse, child marriage, child abuse, abuse of women.
I hope I didn't talk too much. I'm sorry if I did. You know, it's
Not at
kind
all.
of difficult because so much has been going on. So much is going on, and to be synthetic is not easy.
Just one more question. I should have asked this earlier on. I think you said that you took shiksha of somebody in ISKCON. You had a shiksha guru in ISKCON. Do you want to give the name, or do you not? You don't have to if you don't want to. It's really fine.
No, you know, I always expect the truth and to be straight. So I need to be, you know, I have nothing to hide. I can put my limits on the plate. We can discuss about it, but I have to share my experience. And why not to? I mean, everybody knows. I've been years in Mayapur. Everybody. I mean, actually, I even in Mayapur, I was labeled as the Godiya ma. Even in Mayapur, after years, I was the Godiya. Anyway, was Mahatma Prabhu from Alachua. And actually, you know, I cannot say that has been a nice experience. No. I don't want to say more because also now it's late and
I'm not saying any more. But okay. So I'll say goodbye, but please stay. Don't leave yet. But I'm very grateful to Srimati Devi Dasi for being our 150th guest on the Hare Krishna Project podcast. Do not forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you haven't already, to hit the subscribe button wherever it is. And if you're watching this on Facebook, please do like or follow the Hare Krishna Project Facebook page. I am incredibly grateful to everyone who's tuned into this podcast over the last 150 episodes. It really means a lot to me. You know, when we started this podcast, it was a bit of a rocky experience, and not many people were watching or listening. And now, you know, one of our most recent podcasts has had 25,000 views. So we're certainly making a difference. And that's thanks to you for tuning in. So until next week, I will see you all soon. Thank you. Hare Krishna.